Running full system diagnostics. Machine status fully operational. System online. All stations are now enabled. Target dog the resistance. Operation Overkill.
Hello there, content-deprived bilingual beings. Welcome back to Factorio Seablock. Factorio, the game I can wholeheartedly confirm will make you a logistics and automation games addict, resulting in losing touch with reality. My reality? Pain and inflicted trauma. And Seablock, the overhaul mod pack, which draws many resemblances with Minecraft Skyblock. For example, they both give you about zero clue on how to progress. And instead of building out of thin air, Seablock forces you to slurp water from the ocean and process the water into a plethora of advanced items to beat the game. And this is goddamn complicated. As a greater visual example, take a look at the amount of machines you use in vanilla Factorio, contrary to Angels and Bob's mods in Seablock. Damn, it's tough. Especially beating the game, because in vanilla, you only need to launch one rocket. And then Seablock, well, launch at least 200 rockets to research the faster than light drive and launch that to space. And with this being a continuation from the first part of Seablock where I clocked out with 160 hours, I am, well, to put it lightly, very far from the finish goal. So where am I in the grand scheme of things then? Well, I'm about to let you know. But unfortunately, due to the last video being age restricted and this maybe being your first watch, I would like to enlighten you on how much my social status has declined due to the work I've been putting into this save file. If you already know, which you definitely should, you lazy piece of Baba Bowie, you can skip ahead or still watch the recap, because at first I started out automating 14 plates a minute with the basic ore crystallization process. Not so difficult. That went on with more research stuff yielding me better technologies, and then I expanded. Also, not so difficult. Upgrade the base. Exploited. My way to a new fence or waterfill around the local area. Using waterfill to delete the worms from their existence, giving me a lot more space, to which I deconstructed the old base by hand. And built a new one with even more technology researched and better ways to automate items. Then I thought, I need to sit down a little bit, collect my thoughts, and oh shit. This stinks! So I went even bigger in every single aspect. Then I scratched my now bald head a little too much, automating so many intermediate items to make the base work and being able to make every science pack except the yellow and the rocket science. And this is where I'm at. Except I actually made the yellow science pack off cam. Before continuing on, I have to explain the fundamentals of Seablock, because you guys say I'm not too good at that in general. Today's topic will be automation loops, which is what 90% of Seablock is about, though this will be somewhat broad. The main things you should keep track of during the video is as follows: power creation using algae, and automating mineral sludge with geodes and its acid loop, which leads into the four most important loops. Acids: sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, then there's nitric acid, and lastly there's hydrofluoric acid, the most annoying acid in the game. I absolutely hate this thing. These acids are essential to process Bob's ores, which is a more complex way to get useful ores. And that was somewhat technical. How do I hold up on all this shenanigan? Well, as you can see, it's not going that well. I've been very confused picking my way around recipes in this mod pack that also included how to treat the ores, meaning no usage of catalysts, wasting unholy amounts of potential. And now that I'm actually 200 hours in, there's still no end in sight. I actually do want to be unalive. Yet, somehow you're 4 minutes into this video having seen no further progress. Luckily, that changes now, because from now on you're on a wild trip descending into madness. And the progress starts out by me cheating, but only just speeding up the game. Because I had to waste 30 in-game hours to make 10 extra plant life samples every minute. So, with that time wasted, a new door opened to make progression. This was thanks to my newly acquired modular armor and some laser pew-pews to deal with the hostile worms, like I did in the intro. By having acquired some ocean, I did what you would expect me to do. Filled it up with sand. Sand. But what in the holy heck? Power not working? Yeah. I guess you can't just expect something at this scale to work, especially when you don't test it. The power facility, which should have been able to supply me with many megawatts, is not doing its main objective, outputting 360 megawatts of power on the load. The output number is somewhat closer to the amount of bullets you'll need to eliminate a wasp nest, you absolute dimwit dumb. But nevertheless, about 200 bullets might be able to do the job, or 200 megawatts in my case. Not the news I wanted returning to Seablock. Well, I have even more bad news. I don't know why I did this, but oh man, I was fuming. Someone asked if I had updated my mods, which I didn't. I thought, let's do that. And I quickly glanced over the change notes and was like, that looks good to me. To then find out that the sulfuric acid loop with one recipe had changed the machine you used to do that recipe with. Meaning I had to change that everywhere, including some other infuriating surprises. Like, I just don't get this. Logistic wires needs paper now. So now I had to waste even more time by fixing the base. After dealing with all that, my short-lived baby raging meltdown had come to an end. The damage inflicted from the meltdown ingrained 2 ideas on my frontal lobe. Like 2 stars about to collide, 2 thoughts popped up on each star. On one side, it screamed. On the opposite side, it whispered.
Oh, hello there!
As they collided, one idea pulled through. What about in this very difficult mod pack with limited options to making more items, do what I did in my first video ever. Launch a rocket every minute, including all science packs. 1,000 of each every minute. I hope you think I'm insane, because I surely did at the time. However, determined but stupid, I begun planning everything out. To which these goals have to be met. They are the same as the topics that were discussed in the recap. And we're going to be calling this Operation Overkill, because this will be overkill by a long mile. But to get to that point, I have to work for it, and to make my life a little easier, I hopped into a creative world and made 5 different but very essential blueprints. The first one I want to introduce you to has the nickname Uncle Alabama's Critter Farm. And what is it big? Fish tanks, reproduction facilities, and alien spores. It was my childhood dream come true. And its purpose, well, make some weird crystals so it's possible to make modules. Imagine needing such a big blueprint to make modules. I couldn't believe it at the time, and it's only half of what I need. Oh. To get it going, you need biter eggs, and to get the big biter loop going, you're going to need 200 big biter eggs before getting 2 queens. Hopefully. Unfortunately, eggs are very expensive, so this took a while. During that time, you will now experience the only authentic clip where I was having fun and laughed in Factorio. I don't know, I was listening to music earlier. I didn't know it made this sound. Yeah, moving on. Here's the second blueprint I want to share with y'all. Like I already discussed, my power plant design is somewhat out of this world that it shouldn't be in. So I did the only thing that felt right. I found a better recipe to convert the amount of input power into a greater output. To which I then said, skidongle, skidole. What you're looking at here is the peak of my brain power. Instead of using steep amounts of hydrogen, we'll add carbon monoxide into the mix and make synthetic gas, yielding stupid amounts of solid fuel. Just this time, it's stable. 98% of its theoretical performance is obtainable, and that's astounding if you ask me. So I just received a comment surrounding power, and this is way, way better. I don't know what I've been doing, but I've been doing it wrong. And then I could finally get rid of the ancient ruins created by an incompetent engineer. That's me. That design can suck my balls. I wasted so much time on you. Thankfully, the third blueprint I want to introduce you to was not a waste of time. That's right, boyos. Mineral sludge is now in a squarish modular form, and its throughput is very good. You'll ever only need to supply it with charcoal to make it run. And then I got 7 of them. Whoa, 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 whoa! What the hell just happened? Well, after putting down the 7 sludge plants making 3,535 sludge a second, I needed to treat the ores accordingly. My main complaints earlier about not being efficient were now somewhat down the drain. As you can see, the factory is booting up and I am now getting every single Bob's ore. These then get delivered by train to the new processing facility. Here some of the crushed ores goes up to be made into ores such as iron and copper. The other half gets turned into chunks, then some of the chunks goes up and gets turned into aluminium and tin, and then the last bit into crystals and purified ores. At every single sorting facility I'm now using catalysts, so I can on demand get the amount of ores I need instead of wasting ores earlier. At last, down in the bottom right corner, I made what would be the final installation on the acid loop ordeal. When hydro-whatevering the crushed ores to chunks, I get the wastewater to make acids. At this stage, I'm just wasting it and then making every one of the 4 acids I need over here from the ground up. It's mostly making sulfuric acid, but no matter what, I will always be able to fulfill the hydrofluoric acid requirement, which is important. That was a huge chunk of information you had to compile into a language you were able to comprehend. So, Blint, does this mean you're going to be using this at this current moment to increase your overall production and research more? No. Like the total buffoon I am, I did not do that and planned out other things for the mega base instead. As an example, take a look at the doubled amount of power, ending up making 2.7 gigawatts.
Bonkers.
Anyway, we gotta keep on going. Squint your eyes because this is small. This is the quote-unquote spreadsheet that will result in launching and researching 1,000 science packs every minute. The numbers are staggering, and this is where Troopin comes in. A fellow YouTuber with amazing tips around the holiday season plus the occasional banger of a video once in a while. One of you might even have caught onto this and started baby raging in the comments already that what's been built so far could have been made more efficient. How? City blocks.
Did you know that in Factorio you can use a city block design? Main bus is a great solution for early game and mid game, but it doesn't work that good in the huge mega bases.
And he might be right, but unfortunately we do have one problem. And oh my... is it a big one? Nilaus, the co-ish creator of city blocks, I would argue, is a fellow Dane like me. And if there's one thing we Danes hate, then it's the sweetie.
What
using someone else's stuff. We simply don't do it. It's disgusting and quite possibly contaminated. I also have to be original, so that's why I'm not using the most efficient layout possible. Instead, I'll torture myself and in doing so, take my PC with me. So here we go then, let's finish the damn game, but without city blocks. To get started, I'm going to be needing a lot of ores, and these have to be turned into plates the most good way possible. I don't want to say efficient anymore, right? Well, to do it the best way, I slurped some ice-cold liquid oxygen and came up with 16 different blueprints that were modular. Very cool. 1 ore goes in for copper and out comes 2 ingots, which at some point will become a plate. Now, that also happened to iron, tin, and let the robots go to work. Then I went to work putting down some verifying but also purple casting machines that makes casted rolls of each ingot that afterwards will become a plate. They will then soon be beaconized, or whatever you're supposed to say, but this took a damn while because I wanted to make sure that this was enough space for everything, but crucially also the beacons, and that the machines would hit their target speed. Now that that's done, we gotta talk about circuit boards. One in particular, the last one, the advanced one, and oh boy did this thing annoy me. You see, there are 2 final ores that will get you to the last stages of the game. That's platinum and chrome. Platinum is able to be acquired in a sorting facility like the rest of the ores are. However, chrome is not. You'd have to get the ferrous ore, and this is godlike complicated. So I engineered my way around to a production plant that produces 60 ferrous crystals every second. We need 2 of those. But I then gathered the chrome up when it was finally made, thanks to the lubricant I could attain from the critter farm. The only way I could do that was due to the fact that there's a surplus amount of fish which can be utilized to my advantage. However, upon starting to make some very cool advanced circuit boards, I noticed a flaw. You need platinum on the processing boards. And, oh my god! You need a tier 5 sorting facility to make platinum. The tier 5 sorting facility needs advanced circuit boards, so you can't just make platinum. This meant I had to make the other variant to ferrous ore in the production plant I had just assembled. Did this infuriate me?
That's the only way to make platinum, so I can make more platinum.
You'd be absolutely gutted to hear that. No, it didn't, because it antagonized me. Of course, none of this happened, and I behaved my very stable emotional being and just kept on going.
But deep down, we all know what happened.
Righto, time's running out, so let's quickly glance over what the hell has been going on. I finally made the advanced processing unit and upgraded the last machines, especially the sorting facilities, so everything no longer has to be made in a weird, outright, stupid way. I got some more land, put down some stations for the ores, and made all the prerequisite items to treat the ores, resulting in a greater output. Oh my gosh! It happened again, and we're now 350 hours in, and we're closing in on the end, but we're not quite there. It's almost a double amount of time played from where the last video ended. Not good. Righto, anyway so far we have as follows: a mall, all the circuit boards set up, finally every single ore from the crush to purified ore production plant is now coming into the factory, including the prerequisite items. As an example, one of those is sodium and its family-like sodium-like products. Then we have the modules, then the items that pretty much comes from thin air. This is rubber, plastic and something whiteboards, including some very big but needed rocket fuel production module things. And then I got a steel plant because I forgot about that in the top of my mega base. If you'd also take a quick glance over the map, you'll see the following. My old bases are still there. Why? Well, if you want to, the world download is available in the video description. This is history you can look at and hopefully emphasize with the pain I've endured in this save file. Also, if you want a more in-depth look, you'll be able to do it there, because I can't compress 90 hours of footage into something that has to be explained thoroughly in less than 30 minutes. Anyway, with all this now running, I was prepping for the last sin of my run and this video. So time will now start getting out of control. I only cheated once with the speed of the game, and even if I wanted to at this stage, my PC would not be able to go over 1.5 game speed. So here's what I did. I f***ing died. No, but burnout was really closing in on me, so I just let the game run overnight to see how many tier 3 modules I'd get.
It's currently 7 AM and I woke up to watch Formula 1, and I just wanted to check after 8 hours how many modules I've produced. And these are results: 16, 15 and 15. Suck my nuts, game.
I then continued to let the game run whilst going to work or sleeping. In the meantime, I set up a whole lot of power. This is now with the 4th blueprint I made in my creator world. This one is using modules just like the 5th one, and this is mostly to save space, lag and items needed. So this would then give me 5.6 gigawatts of power, but that's not enough. Shoot. Nah, I'm just kidding. With the new blueprint and the base producing some tier 3 modules, I then got 12.8 gigawatts of power. But I'm still not getting the amount of sludge and ores I need. So I then tore down the old, not so well made ore treatment facility. And here's the deal. I only had one more big production facility left that I had to design from the ground up. I cleared some space and then made the exact amount of machines I need to treat every ore, and got rid of the excess geodes from making chunks, and then the crushed stone from the crushed ores. This would make me even more mineral sludge to create catalysts. The one where you need sludge, and the green one which needs crystal sludge, is made up at the base, where I'm making a whole lot of charcoal. Oh yeah, and I'm also recycling every single acid in the new treatment facility, which is very good. Then I of course made the crystallization or making production plant. In the meantime, my base, with help from my robots, had been upgrading to the last tier of belts, the one which can move 75 items a second. I then did a whole lot of fixing within the base and put down the 3 final things. This was the 5th blueprint that made 1200 sludge every second, making me checkmark the final 2 goals I made earlier with me putting down the last acid production plant. At last the final rocket fuel production plants were assembled, and I also got the nuclear fuel for the Mark III trains. The one thing I didn't do, which will be the last you'll see, was to finish Operation Overkill by launching 1 rocket every minute, to which I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer.